So hello everyone, welcome back. We're back with Brindleton Farm Part 2. This is going to be the furnishing episode. Now I am going to warn you guys ahead of time. If I move the camera too quickly or it juts around, I do apologize. I had to speed this footage up quite a bit faster than I usually do. I usually keep it at about 5 or 6 and this one's at 7.5, just because when I put it at 5 and when I put it in between 5 and 6, it was still almost like 40 minutes long with the screenshot, so I wanted to make sure I cut it down enough so that you guys wouldn't be sitting here for 40 minutes listening to me ramble on about furnishing a farmhouse and watching me just basically place decorations all over the place, because that's what most of the time went into, is stuff like this that you can see right here, me just cluttering up different items around the house. So that is what's going on now. It won't do it while I'm doing stuff like this or like searching through the catalog. It's just when I move around the house, so I do apologize. But getting into it, this is the entranceway, and this is going to be an kind of open floor plan. You see I have some cutouts in the walls. Now they're not shut by doors, but I'm using these wall decorations from Eco Lifestyle to kind of make it appear as though there's some doors in there, but they're not real doors in the game. But so that's what those are, and the room we're staring at right now is going to be the parents' office or study, and then the room right across the hall is going to be the dining room. So those are the two rooms that we're going to start with. Going into the dining room, I pull out a cats and dogs table and these Seasons chairs, and I just place some typical decorations around. Now I tried to make these rooms decent sizes so that it was easier to furnish them and not have too much empty space running around, so I hope that I was able to fill up all the space, because I have a really bad tendency to leave some walls bare and just clutter up everything on the floor and the tables, and then the walls have absolutely nothing on them because I never know what to put there. So I really hope that I did better with this one. I tried really hard to keep everything a little bit cleaner, a little bit more rustic though, because this is a farmhouse. So I tried to use only cats. It's mostly cats and dogs and Seasons, I will say. There's a couple of base game things I'm pulling out. You can see them right now. And then some of the decorations are from some of the other packs, but most of the furniture itself is from Seasons and cats and dogs. So I was really going for the farmhouse look, which obviously this was a farmhouse, so duh. But anyway, I decided to put a bar in here because I had the space for it, and I don't think I've done a bar in any of my builds yet on this channel. And this is a very small one. I don't put any stools here because I thought it would mess with the chairs at the dining table, but it filled up the space pretty nicely. And then here you saw I cut over into the study. So this is just right across the hall from the dining room. The dining room was finished after I put those two paintings up, so I figured you guys wouldn't mind if I skipped over the juddering of the camera trying to make it across the hallway. But so yeah, this is the Moschino bookshelf, I think. I don't think it's the Seasons one, but it might be. It's either Seasons or Moschino. And then Seasons chair and basic decorations, I just give them the computer and the art easel. I definitely thought that one of these Sims was an artist, at least in their free time. And I kind of pictured that maybe they did a lot of do-it-yourself furniture and everything around their house, and that's why a lot of their furniture is wood, and a little on the more, I keep using the word rustic, and I feel like you guys are gonna get so mad at me because I just keep using the same word, but that's like, I don't know, that's like the one word I can think of to describe what I was trying to go for. And I don't think I get it exactly. I think that it definitely leans more towards that, but I definitely think I could have gone a little bit heavier, but I figured that like the house itself had been kind of like modeled up and remodeled when the new generation came in. They tried to make it their own, less like their parents, so I figured that it would be a little bit more modernized than what like an old-timey farmhouse would be, so I was kind of trying to go for that look as well. And then here is just a little hallway space, and I do move a lot of this stuff around later on because I remembered I actually built in an area for a closet in this hallway so I could fill up some empty space. So I do end up moving those around when I try and fit the closet in. and I'm just trying to find as many decorations as possible to make the space look not empty and somewhat usable. And then here we are moving into the living room. So there are 2 living rooms in this build. This is going to be the family, like the main living room, probably for entertaining if they ever have people over. And then there is one upstairs. So this one is a little bit more, I don't know, for show, I guess, but the other one's all white. So I really don't know. This one is definitely fits more in with the build style, I think. And then the other one is like the teenager space, so you'll see that when we get up there, but it is an open plan from the living room into the kitchen. And I'm using the Jungle Adventure cabinets and counters because I haven't used those yet on my channel, I don't think. I usually use the base game wooden ones, so I wanted to try something different. And it really annoys me when you have medium or tall wall heights and the cabinets don't go all the way up. So yes, I see it, and yes, I know it's bothering you guys too, but I didn't want to put them too high to where you couldn't really see them on the screenshots, and the wall height on the outside looked better being this medium height, so that's why I kept it. But here I am just cluttering up the counters a little bit, some basic decorations. I gave them a pastry case because I figured I do put the grandparents or a grandparents room in this build, so I figured one of the grandparents did bake. And that also leads me into this. So there is technically 4 bedrooms, 3 of which have double beds, but obviously you can't, that's 6, and then there's 2 twin beds in one of the rooms. And then there's also enough stuff for a cat and a dog. You see me place it here. So obviously this house sleeps more than what The Sims allows us to have. I think you can have 7 household members. It might be 8. But I did imagine that there was only 1 grandparent living in this house, and then a teenager just had a double bed, and that's how I fit both the cat and the dog in. So if that's how you guys want to do it, that'll work. If you want to do just 1 pet and then have both grandparents, that'll work too. If you want to take away one of the kids' beds and only have 1 kid and 1 teenager instead of 2 kids and a teenager, that's fine. But I did want you to know this house does technically sleep more than what The Sims allows. So that's that. And then here we are into the grand bedroom. So this is where the parents are living, not the grandparents, but the parents. And you see that the area off to the side of the house has the exact same color scheme as this, and you'll see why in a minute. But I was really I never liked the green wallpapers in The Sims because they always look gray to me, and I don't know why, but they just look gray. But for some reason, I don't know if it was the lighting on this lot or if it was the lights I had in the game, but these actually looked green to me, and I was so happy, and so I decided to use them because sage green, like this kind of sagey green on the walls, is my absolute favorite color, green, and it goes so well with reds and like deep browns, and that's basically the color scheme of my bedroom. I'm sure you've seen it on my face cam, so I was really happy that I was able to find a green that I liked so I could use it in this build because it just seems so earthy to me. And then over here is the bathroom. So this is the ensuite to the master bedroom, and the bathroom's huge, first of all, and then there's also 2 walk-in closets, one for the father and one for the mother. So you'll see me decorate those. But basically, I'm just filling up this space. I made his and her sink areas, and then they got 2 trash cans, and then they got their own storage cabinets. They got a shower, a jacuzzi bath, and most of this, like I said, is Seasons. Now that bathtub, I think, is base game. It's not the one from Get Famous. I know that, so I'm pretty sure it's from base game. And then the Seasons toilet, and I'm just throwing a whole bunch of decorations around to make the room feel cluttered because it's such a large space, but I didn't know what else to put here. I was going through and I kept putting different things, but I wanted them to have an ensuite, so it just wasn't working. So that's how I came up with the large bathroom and his and hers closets. So I hope that you guys like it. I've never done a bathroom that big before, so it was really weird for me trying to decorate it like that. But honestly, not as weird as these closets because I didn't know what to put in closets. I put up the hanging racks of clothes and the shoe racks and then a dresser, obviously, because the Sims do need a dresser to get changed, or a mirror, but I put a dresser in. I actually did both. And then I kind of just randomly put some things around. I asked my dad what he would put in a walk-in closet if he had one, and he said that he would do dog treats and a refrigerator for his beer. So I was like, okay, I guess this guy's getting a refrigerator and some dog treats, because I had no idea what to put in there. And I also added some crates because I figured, you know, they're a farmhouse, they probably have a lot of like shipments coming in or produce going out, so they probably have a lot of crates to carry their stuff around. And if you saw there, I did save, you should always save your builds or you run the risk of losing them, but also we were having a storm when I was doing this and my computer was almost dead, and I didn't want to plug it in because I heard that if you plug it in and your power goes out, there's a chance it can like surge your computer, and this computer is new. So I was like, I'm not plugging this in. If it dies, it dies. So I saved it, and my computer didn't end up dying. I finished what I wanted to do in time, and then I just turned it off and went to bed and then resumed building in the morning. But that is why I saved it right there. And then here I'm doing the laundry room. Now this is where I resumed in the morning, so you see I have to retype in all my cheats, and I was really frustrated because I was like, why isn't any of this fitting? And then I was like, oh, that's because I had to restart. So this is going to be the laundry room mudroom area. It's rather large, but I think I fill this space rather nicely. I mean, I throw a lot of laundry day in here, and then I take out that laundry hutch that we got from Eco Lifestyle because it really matches the laundry day wood tones quite well. And I basically just clutter everything up. The room is functional, obviously it's too big to not be functional, but there's just a whole bunch of different laundry items and decoration items. And I figured like the kids, I had some backpacks in here in a second. I figured the kids, like when their parents came from picking them up from school, or their little sister or their older sister picked them up from school, they would come in here, they would check off things on the parenthood board, see what chores they had to do that day, and drop their backpacks off and go do their chores and then do their homework and stuff. So I figured that was definitely like the family entrance, and also like the farming entrance almost, because I do put a garage here. And I didn't have that when we did the outside of the build, but I was initially going to make this big room the grandparents' bedroom, but then the floor plan just didn't really work out, so I ended up making it a garage. And I do kind of go a little stereotypical here and place like 4 trucks, and then I'd realized that that was wrong, so I did 2 trucks and then like a normal sedan type car, and I figured that might be the teenagers. Like her parents gave her the option of what car she wanted for her first car, and she chose that one. And then I just clutter up this area quite a bit. As I said, I thought one of the parents was an artist, so I put some random paint decorations around. I put some bikes, and I used this other hutch from Eco Lifestyle, and then literally just a whole bunch of different clutter items. I get some of the scuba diving stuff in here and some of the camping stuff as well, which scuba diving doesn't really make sense, but the shelf item looked really good in here, so I decided to leave it. And then I also believe I get so I get the decoration boxes in here too, and I give them 2 of them, and obviously 2 is not necessary, you only need 1, but it filled up the space a little bit more, so that's why I did 2. And then this is the grandparents' bedroom. So as I said, I did picture that it was only 1 grandparent, and maybe I do give them a seating area, so maybe they have some friends over, or maybe the kids come and sit in here with them. But that's just because I wanted them to have 3 kids and 2 pets. Now, if you want 1 pet, that'll work. You can have 2 grandparents in here, or if you want 2 kids. But this is their room, and I give them this classic base game bed. It is unlocked through the artist career though, but it's pretty much my favorite bed in base game because I just love the different patterns on the covers. And then I give them some plaques. I'm pretty sure these are from Discover University and they're for like degrees, but I kind of figured maybe it was awards for the farm, and it was like the first generation of the farm, and they were so proud of the different accomplishments that they had been able to make, so I put those up. And then this is the little seating area. I moved the pictures over because I do give them a bookshelf, and I thought about giving them a TV, but then I kind of thought about it and I was like, I feel like they wouldn't really be that into TV, just because of how they are. Like, they're farmers, they want to be outside, they want to read, they want to do things like that. So that's why I gave them a bookshelf instead. And then I do cut out some of this bathroom and some of the rest of the bathrooms, because there is 5 bathrooms in this build. And you all saw me do the master bathroom, and I figured that they all pretty much look the same. It's the same cabinets, it's the same wallpapers, it's literally the exact same thing. So I thought it would be okay if I cut out the majority of the bathrooms, so that way it wasn't too repetitive and I could go ahead and keep this video below 40 minutes. And then I give them a fish tank. I figured maybe the kids were really into animals. I mean, they are a farming family and they have a couple of pets. So I figured that the kids might really want to have some fish, and maybe one of them wants to be a vet one day. But I did give them a couple of different kids' activities. Not a lot in their room, but I do give them a separate playroom upstairs. You'll see that when we move upstairs, but this is the kids' room. So I use a lot of cats and dogs in here. You see I pulled out the cats and dogs curtains, and I'm using the cats and dogs bed, and it's a gray and blue and pink color scheme because I wasn't sure really like the gender of the kids. I was kind of just going with, I pulled out this dresser and I really like this dresser, so I changed the color of the mirror, and I was trying to fit some things in here. And I do get an arts and craft table. I did think that one of the kids was definitely more artsy and one of them was definitely more intellectual. Upstairs I do give them the science table. But yeah, so that was my thinking for the kids, but I did think that they really love nature and animals just like their parents do. And yeah, and I do skip the kids' bathroom. They do have their own ensuite, which is a little unrealistic, but I had the space for it, so I decided to give it to them. And in gameplay, one bathroom is per sim is definitely better than not having enough bathrooms, so I figured it would be okay. And then here I'm just decorating the back door entrance. Now you can see right now there are plants blocking this door. I do change that. I just had to move some things around, and then I draw a path to the back door patio because this doesn't actually lead off on the patio. I did end up moving the door because I kind of liked the idea that this kind of just led out to the farming area, and then this way they didn't have to like track through the family room, which is right where the patio is, or anything when they were coming in from farming. And then now we are upstairs. So here we have the teenager's bedroom, and my idea for the teenager was that they were growing up to not want to run the farm. Now, with farming families in movies, it's very traditional to see that the oldest always takes over the farm, like it's a generational thing, and I just thought that this teen did not want anything to do with farming. She loved the city, she loved fashion, she wanted to go out and be a musician. She's a very artsy girl. She loved being social, going out with her friends. So that's kind of how I decorated her room. I give her some musical instruments, and I think her parents are trying to be supportive and they want to help her. Obviously, they got her the instruments and they let her go into the city, but I do think that they wish she liked farming a little bit more, just so that way they definitely knew one of their kids was going to take over the farm. But so that was my idea for her. And then you saw I added some pictures to the door. I didn't want to use one of the kids' doors because they really do seem really kiddie to me, so I wanted to just throw some posters on the door to make it look like she was kind of not as in sync with the rest of the family. And here you see I struggle with the roof. So the roof was clipping into the building and I didn't know what to do about it. I couldn't get it to go away and then like still look good on the outside of the house, so I decided just to leave it. And I'm pretty sure in gameplay you won't see it because you don't see roof clippings, I think, when you go in and actually play with your Sims. But anyway, this here is, I thought, like the family space, but also the teenager's space for her friends. So I thought there's like a Don't Wake the Llama table, there's a video game console, they have their own TV up here, so I thought that maybe like when they had friends over or they wanted to just like enjoy some time alone, they would be able to come sit out here and kind of relax and not have to be downstairs with the family if they're having friends over or anything like that. And then this is the kids' playroom. It's also kind of like their little study area. I give them this little nook here for their desks so they have a place to do their homework. And I just decorated with a whole bunch of different kids' wall decoration items. These trees are my absolute favorite, so I wanted to make sure I used them because they looked really good with this wallpaper. And then, as I said, I gave them a science table, and then you also saw I added the puppet theater and a couple of tables and chairs. And then this is the gardening shed. So they have a garage and a gardening shed, and this gardening shed also has some exercise equipment in it. So I figured like they would come out here and they would do their exercises, and then they'd go work on the farm. And the mom is an artist, so I figured she'd be kind of like a maker sim, so I gave them a candle making station and a flower arranging station because they do grow flowers. And then I throw a whole bunch of decorations in here from the debug menu. A lot of them are the farming or the gardening decorations that we got. And you'll see in a minute here, I pull out some base game crates, and I figured they kind of look like produce crates, so I thought maybe the family just had all these extra crates lying around, just like in the parents' bedroom, and I put some in the kitchen as well. And they just use them for like storage and for like placing things on, so that way nothing's just on the floor. And I thought that it looked really cute, so I went ahead and did it. And then here we are on the outside. Now you saw most of this in the previous video's screenshots because I did furnish before that video was released, so I don't show you the entire decoration of the outside. But here I'm just doing an outdoor seating area and a little dining area as well, with a grill and a picnic table. I figured this family really likes being outside, so I wanted to give them a nice little space outside to eat as well as inside. And besides that, that is pretty much it for this video, so I hope you all liked it. I hope that this matched all your expectations for the inside of this house, and I'll see you all next time, and bye!